In early January 2017, secret space program whistleblower Corey Good says he was taken to Antarctica to witness the first scientific excavations of ruins of an ancient frozen civilization, buried under 3 kilometers of ice. While the discovery of the ruins dates back to the first Nazi German expedition in 1939 according to Good, it is only since 2002 that excavations have been permitted by archaeologists and other scientists. Archaeologists have prepared documentary films and academic papers whose release will astonish the scientific community. In an update dated December 11, 2016, Good describes how he had previously been informed of Antarctic excavations from multiple sources, and then the excavations were also revealed to him by a senior officer, who is inside a secret space program directed by the United States Air Force that he nicknamed Sigmund. Sigmund led a covert mission involving multiple abductions and interrogations of Good, who was being tested for the fidelity of his information. Corey Good, after being satisfied with the accuracy of Good's information and sources, Sigmund unexpectedly shared some of his knowledge of the Antarctic excavations. It was a civilization headed by the pre-Adamites from 3 to 3.5 meters high with elongated skulls. 3 oval-shaped motherships of approximately 50 kilometers in diameter were discovered in the vicinity, revealing that the pre-Adamites were of extraterrestrial origin and had reached Earth about 55,000 years ago. One of the 3 ships has been excavated and has been found to have many smaller spacecrafts inside. The pre-Adamite civilization, at least that part of it based on Antarctica, had been frozen in a cataclysm that had occurred about 12,000 years ago. Good has also been informed by her contacts that the most advanced technologies and the remains of the pre-Adamites themselves have been removed from an archaeological site to be made public. Teams of archaeologists have been working with what remains, and were told to keep what they had seen in secret. In addition, ancient artifacts selected from other locations will be brought from vast warehouses and pre-selected at the archaeological site for public release. In its imminent announcement about the Antarctic excavations, the emphasis will be on the terrestrial elements of frozen civilization in order not to shock the general population too much. According to Good, the announcement is likely to be scheduled as a distraction from upcoming war crimes against global elites as leaks of information about international pedophile circles and child trafficking erupt. Until recently, everything Good knew of the Antarctic excavations had been shared by internal sources or by Sigmund. That changed in early January 2017, in a brief personal briefing on January 24 and the subsequent discussion dinner, which included David Wilcock. Good recounted some of the details about his most recent trip to Antarctica. He previously reported on an earlier visit to Antarctica, where he came to see 5 of the underground work bases belonging to the interplanetary business conglomerate, an ongoing corporate secret space program based in Antarctica. Good says that shortly after the new year of 2017, he was taken to Antarctica by an Anchar spacecraft. The Anchar are one of the 7 civilizations of the inner Earth with which Good has gathered. In previous reports it has been described that he was taken to the main underground city belonging to the Anchar, where he witnessed their advanced technologies. Good has described her multiple encounters with Kari, a high priestess of the Anchar, who has acted as a guide and friend on many trips to Earth's interior, Antarctica, and deep space. Another key figure in Good's revelations is someone called Gonzalez, who is a lieutenant commander of the United States Navy who was Good's initial contact with a secret space program alliance, which includes the Solar Warden program of the United States Navy along with deserters from other secret space programs. To Antarctica and deep space. Another key figure in Good's revelations is someone called Gonzalez, who is a lieutenant commander of the United States Navy who was Good's initial contact with a secret space program alliance comprising the Solar Warden program of the United States Navy along with deserters from other secret space programs. To Antarctica and deep space. Another key figure in Good's revelations is someone called Gonzalez, who is a lieutenant commander of the United States Navy who was Good's initial contact with a secret space program alliance, comprising the Solar Warden program of the United States Navy along with deserters from other secret space programs. On his visit in early January 2017, Good says he joined Kari, Gonzalez, and two other representatives of the Inner Earth civilization. One of them belonged to an Asian-looking race that Good described at his first meeting with representatives of the 7 civilizations of the Inner Earth. Good and the others were taken by the Antar spacecraft to an undeveloped part of the ruins. This was an area that nearby scientific teams have not yet reached, so it was still pristine, and showed the full extent of a civilization that had been frozen. Good described seeing twisted and contorted bodies in several frozen states. The catastrophe had been clearly unforeseen. He said the pre-Adamites were very thin. He claimed that it was evident by examining their bodies that had evolved on a planet with a much lower gravitational environment. In addition to the pre-Adamites, Good also saw many different types of normal-sized humans, some of whom had short tails, while others had elongated skulls similar to the pre-Adamites. The conclusion Good made was that the pre-Adamites were conducting biological experiments on the planet's indigenous humans. Gonzalez had an instrument to take biological samples that he sank into several of the frozen bodies. He also had a camera and took many pictures. Biological material and photos would be given for study by scientists from the Secret Space Program Alliance. In addition, there were rolls of a metal alloy that were engraved with some type of writing on them. The Antar and other representatives of the Inner Earth were collecting as many of these scrolls as possible. In previous reports, Good has described the Antar library as quite extensive and having many ancient artifacts from various civilizations. The Antar was adding the historical records of this frozen civilization to his library. In addition, Good said his group was not attested by scientists and archaeologists working on excavations elsewhere in the Antarctic ruins. The Antar ship had traveled through the ice to reach the ruins. Good remembered how the ship could easily move through the walls using its advanced technologies. The significance of Good's January trip to Antarctica is that it was confirmation of what had previously been reported by various sources and the United States Air Force officer Sigmund. The Antarctic excavations were quite real and Good was now the first primary witness to it. More details on Good's trip to Antarctica and the pre-Adamites are expected to be made public by David Wilcock in his next article, Endgame 3. Good's visit and confirmation of the discovery of Antarctica is highly significant. It is alarming the confirmation of Charles Hapgood's theory that pole changes have been a regular occurrence in Earth's history. The instantaneous freezing of the pre-Adamite civilization was not the only case of this kind of catastrophe that had affected an ancient civilization. The visit of many dignitaries to Antarctica in 2016, including the then Secretary of State and Kerry, Buzz Aldrin, Patriarch Kirill and many others in previous years, is circumstantial evidence that an important discovery has been made in Antarctica. Thanks to Corey Good, we now have first-hand evidence of the full extent of the Antarctic discovery and ongoing scientific excavations since 2002 that are expected to announce some elements of the discovery very soon.